gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. A new board of directors was appointed to the National Maintenance, Training and Security Company Limited on Monday. A formal ceremony was held at the Ministry of Public Utilities head office, where the newly appointed board of directors received their official letter of appointment. Mr. Adrian Barron was appointed as chairman of the board of directors, along with other directors such as Mr. Mitchell Ramcharan, Ms. Natasha Bakan, Mr. Terry Ram, Mr. Sunil Babulal, and others. Minister of Public Utilities Barry Shiva Padarat thanked them for their willingness to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago and encouraged them to carry out their mandate with the highest level of professionalism. So Trinidad and Tobago, we want to welcome each and every one of them to the MTS company. So a little bacchanal in Trinidad and Tobago presently, viewers. Now listen to this. The central bank accounts are no longer being audited by the Auditors General. The fact was disclosed by the central bank on Friday in response to a request for information from the financial regulator and the government banker to comment by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar last Thursday. She said that for a second year, the central bank did not cooperate with the Auditors General request for information, and that the central bank governor, Dr. Alvin Hillary, refused to divulge information. She said, this is the same central bank governor who on 2 occasions, with 2 successive audit general reports, has failed to provide information to the Auditors General. Listen to this.
One like a bed of thorns or pulling teeth. There's a case in court that I think we may have to pursue at this end, that the central bank governor refuses to divulge information. And therefore, this is the same central bank governor who on 2 occasions, I'm segueing way out to another point about him, on 2 occasions with 2 successive Auditor General's reports has failed to provide information to the Auditor General. So remember last year when we had the 2.3 billion missing, it was because the central bank did not release information or allow the auditor to get the accounts to do her work. It's happened again. The Auditor General's report, which will be laid shortly in the Parliament, it has happened again. Now why did I go off into that? Because that's worrying me.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, remember when Clongenberg came out and said that the check clearance system at central bank, there was a glitch. Remember that? And I asked the central bank governor, why? Or have you refused to give the Auditor General access to the check clearance system to make sure that when Clongenberg said it was the check clearance system had a glitch? Now, listen to this, we'll talk after. Feel free to call in, viewers, 238-6716. Let me hear what you have to say, because this is your money, this is taxpayers' money. So listen to this. In response to the query, the central bank said the Auditor General is no longer functions as the external auditor for the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. The bank nonetheless considered the Office of the Auditor General to be an important institution in contributing to transparency and good governance of the fiscal accounts. There was no response to the question of why the Auditors General no longer function as the bank external audit. The Auditor General audits the central bank accounts for the last 14 years up to 2023. In April of this year, the then Minister of Finance, Vishnu Danpal, denied anyone had stolen 2.6 billion that was mentioned in the public accounts of Trinidad and Tobago, saying the matter was a simple technical glitch caused by the software issues at the central bank. Listen to Danpal.
Nonsense. Rubbish. Money is missing. It went nowhere. It was a technical glitch caused by a software issue that created a problem at the central bank. It has since been corrected by amending the appropriation accounts. Don't let anybody fool you. It is physically impossible to steal 2.6 billion or $2 in the public sector accounts. It is physically impossible. A lot of people here think that the Treasury has a vault with money, billions inside. No, the Treasury has a vault with just a float to change checks on a daily basis.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to listen to this. Clung and Booth hired some lawyers, carried the Auditor General straight to the Privy Council in England concerning the same thing. Now, one of the individual from the Privy Council asked, why wasn't the minister or the former Minister of Finance, Clung and Booth, being investigated? After all their reports, what they read, evidence, talked through the Privy Council, they were in the chamber. After everything has finished, she asked, Lady Simler asked, why wasn't Clung and Booth, former Minister of Finance, investigated? Now, listen to this. The Auditor General Office audits money spent by government. Listen closely. The money spent by government is taxpayers' money that they contribute to tax. When the Auditor General Office did their investigation, the Auditor General Jayawanti Ramdas, who represent the Auditor General Office in Trinidad and Tobago, when she received documents, she saw money being spent, but no receipt, no paper trail. So they end up in the Privy Council in London. Now, coming up the road now, Clung and Booth said it was a glitch in the software. And we know Trinidadians, we ain't taking Clung and Booth's word for it. But neither did the Auditor General. Because she have to give an account to Trinidad and Tobago and the government on how taxpayers' money are being spent. And the only individual or the only office that is authorized to see how taxpayers' money are being spent is the Auditor General Office, which Jayawanti Ramdas was the auditor. So now Trinidad and Tobago, according to Kamala, this is the second time Central Bank has refused to divulge any information. Now I want to ask Central Bank, I want to ask Mr. Hillary, Dr. Alvin Hillary, the money that comes to Central Bank through tax, whose money is it? Is it Hillary money? Is it Central Bank money? Or is that money the money that people contribute to tax? So number one, can Hillary confirm that the check clearance system did cause the 2.6 to go missing? Can central bank confirm that? Because no individual that work in central bank, taxpayers' money belong to them. They also pay tax. That contributes to taxpayers' money. So, to this date, we don't know if and where is $2.6 million. Because Jayawanti Ramdas' office still has to give account to Trinidad and Tobago for undocumented money that was spent. I want you to understand carefully. Klangenberg said it was a software glitch. Dan Paul said it was a software glitch and it was rectified. Who rectified the problem? Can the person who rectified this problem, can they actually come out and say to Trinidad and Tobago and to the present government and to the citizens who contributed to the $2.6 billion, can they come out and say it was actually a glitch on the software? Because nobody believed Klangenberg. Nobody really believed Dan Paul. Neither me. I don't believe them. We need to hear that from Alvin Hillary, that yes, it was a glitch. Alvin Hillary does not have to give account to taxpayers for taxpayers' money being spent by the government. He does not have that portfolio. You know who has that portfolio? The Auditor General Office has that portfolio. So my question now, tonight, is why Hillary continue, or why Central Bank continue to give access to the individual who has to give account to Trinidad and Tobago on taxpayers' money being sent. Because according to Jayawanti Ramdas, money have been spent and no paperwork. No paperwork. So Trinidad and Tobago, today, presently, nobody knows where the money went. Because we are taking Klangenberg's word for it. Certainly we are taking Dan Paul's word for it. And why hasn't Dr. Alvin Hillary give access to the check clearance system? That is all. That is all. You see, Hillary, so I'm going to ask this question tonight. What is there to hide? What is there to hide? This is something I am asking. Does central bank audit taxpayers' money and have to give account to the government or to the Minister of Finance? No. Neither Dan Paul, neither Klangenberg. But you know who they have to give account to? The Auditors General. You know why? Because right in that compound, in that building, they have all the access to the funds. All the monies, the checks, whatever you name it, local foreign currencies, they give account. And the Auditor General, Jayawanti Ramdas, still hasn't closed that page. Because the money is still missing. And we want to know where is the money. Or if the check clearance system, if that glitch in the software were actually rectified. Because to this date, nobody haven't said that, hey, I, John Doe, checked the check clearance system and yes, it was that. Klangenberg just bought a report. Dan Paul just supported him. That's it. So why now is Alvin Hillary refusing to give access? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to know how much money Central Bank have, you know. They don't want to know how much US it have. They don't want to know how much foreign currency it have. All we want to know is it. The check clearance system really had an issue. That is all. That is all. Because people are going to hold Dr. Alvin Hillary accountable, being the one now who is refusing to give the Auditor General, Jayawanti Ramdas, access to check the check clearance system to make sure that 2.6 billion didn't go anywhere and was just a glitch. That's number one. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Great program as usual, man, and good night to your staff, your hard-working staff. Mr. Saeed, hear this now, man. Mr. Saeed, how long this issue going on with this money that was missing?
We ain't get that closure to it.
And PV Council is asking why Colin and Burt is not being investigated.
Yes.
Saeed Ali, hear this now. Nobody not doing none of them nothing. Look at Colin and Burt is refusing the Auditor General to give she access to see the glitch. That is refusal. Here we have a Prime Minister that spent all Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' money, raise the salary, making sure he gets $1 million per year, resign and go on with everything. Nobody does him anything. And don't talk about Mr. Dan Paul. Nobody can talk about he. He's the stupidest man I have ever seen in politics.
Caller, please take it out.
Secretary.
Take it down, caller. We won't have any individual calling them whatever, any names. I understand what you're saying, caller, but remember we have kids watching the show. You know, be a little respectful. But I understand your frustration and your comments. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the money is still missing. The money is still missing. That is taxpayers' money. Alvin Hillary has the right to give her access. Central Bank would not come out and say, well, the government spent X, Y, and Z. Dr. Hillary won't come out and say that. So what we're trying to say then is that money could spend and no account for it. So if there's nothing to hide, why hasn't the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, have a report in front of her to say, well, you know what? It was really a check clearing system. Because so-and-so from so-and-so department came out and said X, Y, and Z. But Central Bank is refusing. So my thing now is, if you're refusing to give access or you're refusing to give information, why? Why? You know, some people say there's something more to this. There's something in the mortar more than the pestle. So I am asking Central Bank now, why are refusing to answer the call of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? Why? It's taxpayers' money. So what about if taxpayers now, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, decide, you know what, we're going to protest on the street. What's going to happen? The money that is in Central Bank is not the owner of it. They are not the owner of it. But nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but still locked on. Lots more after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over,
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace, Cabelco, is emphasizing that Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Biss's aggression towards Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro was misplaced. Speaking during a media conference yesterday, Cabello said, "That woman's statements are crazy because we're not interfering or entering Trinidad, nor are our boats entering Trinidad. I do not know what little force they have, but it's crazy." He also asserted that Venezuela does not interfere in the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago, nor does it have any plans to enter its territorial waters. So Trinidad and Tobago, that is the latest we have on that. It is clear that a diplomatic tension continues between the neighboring countries. So let's see how best the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs can handle this. We'll wait and see in the coming days. We will know. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Nake, described the tension between Trinidad and Tobago as a storm in a teacup. He says he is prepared to debate anyone on the merits of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Biss's appropriate response to Venezuela. In a video posted to his page on Tuesday, he says 99% of international laws is common sense. He further went on to pose a similar but simple picture of the situation between the neighboring countries. Listen to this.
If your neighbor just come up to your fence one morning, just so, you in the garden, and he tell you, "Hey you, somebody in your house come and thief my 2 chicken, my 2 fowl. Somebody come and thief my 2 fowl," and they come from your house. Before you have a chance to ask him, well, who it is, or who you think it is, where's the evidence? He tell you, "And you know what? I coming in your yard now. I coming in your house now, and get get them." And he moving like he wanna come with the foot over the fence. You tell me, Trinbagonians, following natural justice, common sense. Where's your first response?
During a PNM press conference on Monday, Faris El-Rawi asked Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to describe who was in the 1% category she spoke of. This was naked comment. Listen to this.
You Faris El-Rawi, your family benefit over $500 million. Or they hear me train me go? $500 million under the PNM in rental buildings. $500 million. And you bold ask Kamala Persad-Bissessar if that have to do with race. I don't know if it has to do with race, I know it has to do with you. $500 million you get and your family get, and somebody in your family crying how the UNC taking food out of their mouth. So Olaine save a little bit from $500 million.
Now, viewers, the Parliamentary Secretary advised Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles to not worry about what's taking place in the Youth Development Ministry. Naked, one more time.
Miss Penelope Beckles, my dear sister, ask Foster Cummins in Dali Young about youth development before you come by us. Because we have things on stream. We're looking at all the centers. We hand over keys for centers. We're making sure programs rolling out from the beginning of July. We're making sure that we're enrolling people. Don't worry about youth development. I'm making sure if they have no ghost programs, no inflatables, no non-deliverables, I'm making sure.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, that was the words of naked. Now, I'll tell you something. I've seen a lot of individuals all of a sudden popping up in social media, posts all over social media platforms. Many of them are condemning the UNC. Many of them are condemning the government is taking too long to materialize things. They want it done with a snap of a finger. So I want to ask you people, why were you not snapping your finger and making social media posts for the last 9 years? Where were you? I'm seeing the former Prime Minister coming out, Keith Rowley. Still, you're in retirement, relax yourself. Relax yourself. Still seeing Stuart Chung, still seeing Faris. All of them were there for 9 years. Gatsby Dolly giving solution. Amory Brown giving solution. You know, it's sad after 9 years now they're going to give the UNC administration advice. You all were there for 9 years. The people have fired you all, not Saieed. The people of Trinidad and Tobago has fired you all. Why? Lack of performance. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program as usual. But this country needs to laugh, and politicians is making us laugh right now and make us happy because we're under serious tension in this country. So we have to laugh. So this issue with Venezuela and Trinidad is a big joke. We intelligent people like you and many in this country know we have to operate and say great is America and the president. So we have to show that we are not supporting Maduro, we hate Maduro and all of this kind of thing. So the US will continue to support us and fund us and so on. Anyway, Miss Dolly, this former education lady who talk about the PNM children. I know we have smart and intelligent people in this country, and you already analyzed it. Now, the present government is saying they're going to take drastic measures against these children who are bullied and in school. They have to do it because they did nothing for the last 10 years. So what Dolly is doing is setting a stage and say PNM children. So when this government implement laws to deal with them, which need to be dealt with and take them to jail, put handcuffs on those little miscreants, she now going to say, you see what this government did? They advantaging PNM Is PNM children the advantaging? That is what they're setting up the stage for in this country. So citizens, be aware of it, and we'll have none of that. They are miscreants, they want to fight, go to jail. And why she didn't finish the sentence by saying the defense force is PNM family and children and so on in the defense force, the police service. Why she didn't continue at the jail? 95% of people in the jail is PNM children and PNM family. Roger Alexander, the Homeland Security Minister, used to say it on his program. So you should continue the sentence, lady. Don't stop there. So, Mr. Saeed, you keep up a great program and we will expose all of them and fix this country. They can't pull no wool over our eye. God bless you and your staff, Mr. Saeed. Take care.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come in, there's lots more. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
Trinidad and Tobago Stand Your Ground attorney at law, Keel Talak Singh, is saying democracy doesn't end at the ballot box, but instead being there. Making reference to the Stand Your Ground legislation, he said the UNC was clear during its campaign that this legislation would be part of the national response to the wave of violent home invasion threatening families across Trinidad and Tobago.
UNC isn't sneaking in about it. It was front and center of its political campaign. It's not as though, it's not like the Petrotrin issue where the former government suddenly closed down Petrotrin. This is something that the UNC campaigned on. Ms. Prasad Bisesa was quite colorful even in her language, in the way she described and his right to defend himself and his property. And therefore, it should take us by no surprise that this would be one of the first legislative measures that the government is going to go forward with.
In an interview, he says, while he supports the legislation, reasonable force should not be weaponized to turn victim into defendants. Listen to this now.
When it comes to the home, I am of the view that no one should judge me as to whether or not I take reasonable action to defend myself. No one should judge me as to whether or not I should be proportionate in the amount of force that I can use to repel an attacker. And no one should expect of me that if someone enters my home to do harm to me or my family, that I should even contemplate retreating or running. That should never be a consideration. I am entitled to defend my home with full force.
So Trinidad and Tobago, on many occasions, just to close up the story, he said, this law will not create vigilantes, it will create clarity. That's what he said. Now, many occasions, who had to pay the cake for an intruder coming in the home when the homeowner take advantage of the situation? Taking advantage means protecting your home at all cost. Call a good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, to my friend.
Mr. Said, even when Nyan Gatsby Dolly was making that speech with the women's arm, she referred to herself twice, not once, but twice. And she said, as Minister of Education, Gatsby Dolly is the former Education Minister, not Minister of Education.
Correct.
We have a new Minister of Education. She had to tell her else you have to bank boy,
Thank you, my friend. MP for Princestown, Dr. Aina, hope I pronounced it correct, Aina Ali, is expressing concerns over a landslip at the Robert Village, North Trace Stableland in Princestown, where access to a road is on a short time span. The road bears access to the Robert Village Hindu School that housed over 500 students. Access to the road is one way in and one way out. MP Ali says, for several years, nothing has been done to combat the situation, even when the Princeton Regional Corporation pleaded with local government minister for years. Take a look.
This is a very important road because if this road is cut off from the main road, we lose access to the Robert Village Hindu School. This school has over 500 students. The students will not be able to attend school. And this road is not only important to these villagers, but also people in the surrounding areas because people visit here, people send their kids to school here. So this is very essential for us to get started and get the work done. And nothing has been done for the past, nothing major I should say, has been done for the past 10 years to solve this issue or to provide any relief or any help to the people.
So now viewers, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Gauri Rupnarayan, says funding to fix the road exceeded the corporation's finance. He said he had been requesting aid from the government for several years now. Listen to this.
Over 7 years, I start making representation on behalf of the villagers with this landslip. It started with a leaking water line, and WASA will come every 3 weeks. They will fix, the line will burst, and will continue. Land will continue to slip. The funding to do this project was above what we could have afford at the Princeton Regional Corporation. So I had reached out to the ministry on several times. The ministry put this on a program, but always continue removing it to accommodate projects in marginal PNM constituencies. So the students, children and villagers from this area paid a political price.
Touring the landslip today was local government minister Khatija Amin, chairman of the corporation, Rupnarain, expressed confident that with a change in government, Minister Amin will answer to their cries. Listen to this.
Take the minister into the new financial year to get this project going, but we are very grateful to have her here with us this afternoon to look into this project, and I know for a fact we will achieve this project.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we will keep you updated as the governments move forward, the local government move forward into trying to fix landslip throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Now I want to tell you something. On our Wednesdays, we just highlight real public concerns right here on Real Talk. The bad road, lack of representation by the councillor, lack of representation by the MPs. We highlight landslips, we highlight schools, we highlight public concerns on our Wednesday. So what you can do, viewers, we have the email address. Real Public Concerns is an email address that we here at Real Talk with Saieed Ali has given you, the public. Send your videos, send your pictures, send it to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see the address. Screenshot it, write it down. Viewers, we're going to highlight the issue in your community on Wednesdays. We have been doing this for the last 2 years, almost 2.5 years. We have been doing this. And we have gotten response because ministry don't like things to go on television. They don't like it to go on radio. They don't like it to go on social media platform. You know why? Because somebody like me is going to put them in their place. Why aren't you seen about your community? If you represent the people, you represent the government, why aren't you fixing your community? Why? So viewers, realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. Send your video, send your email. You can always call me at 339-1670. I will give you a WhatsApp number to send whatever videos, whatever community you're from, whether it's PNM, whether it's UNC. Send it in. We're going to highlight it on Wednesdays, and we're going to continue doing what we do. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we are going to look at the incident that happened in Kuva Convent today when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and Licensed Moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back.
Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back. Remember, viewers, we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 5% interest on our fixed deposit for 5 years and over. Remember that. Only Real Talk Financing is giving you that, viewers. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to wait to collect your interest, you know. You don't have to wait. You sign up with us. Give us 7 to 14 days, make sure all paperwork is approved and check cleared, and my office will call you to come and collect your interest. Imagine you already worked so hard for your lump sum. To put it now on a fixed deposit for 10 and 15. And you have to wait. No. We are not going through that. We are letting you know, Real Talk Financing is giving you 5% on your fixed deposit with that interest up front, so you can enjoy the fruit of your labor. That is what we are doing. Remember, check anywhere else and see if they are doing that. No, they are not doing that. It's just us. You know why? I have about 30 years experience in the field, in finance. Real Talk Credit Union, 2 locations, 14 Caroni Savannah Road and 25 Superior Road in San Fernando. We have 3 lending centers, so if you're looking for a loan, it's not a problem. Viewers, these 2 buildings is our 2 locations. The brown tile front is 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Chaguanas, and the other one with the sign open, where the upfront interest is, that is our business place on Superior Street, San Fernando. Now, remember Trinidad and Tobago, if you're looking for cash, it's not a problem. We like to lend. So call our office, set up an appointment, come down, call, let me get your information, and come in. We like to put a smile on your face. You need it, we do it. So now, viewers, so Trinidad and Tobago, hear this, with the increased numbers of school violence incidents, the latest case was reported at the Couva Convent on Tuesday, where a female student was assaulted by a group of girls. In a video posted, the female student was seen being dragged out from the school gate by a group of girls who were outside the gate. The group proceeded to kick, hit, punch, and beat the victim many times. According to report, the attacker was not dressed in school uniform. The assault was eventually interrupted when an adult and two of the schoolmates rushed to her aid. Details about the attacks and the motive behind the assault remains unclear at this time. It is not yet confirmed whether the assailant are students of the same school or another. Authorities are investigating the incident. So Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to take a close look at this video. If this was your daughter, what would you do? Caller, good night.
Yes, hi, good night.
Go right ahead.
Which one you talking about? You want on the ground or you want on
Show the video, show the video. The one on the ground.
If that was my, listen, let me do him go there now. Cause I know having that conversation there with my people over here. They may go like the outcome and if I had to go back there, just start telling you, that will be different. Because let me tell you something, all our school violence come from this 10 years at the CNM that went there. They had nothing in place for the consequences, and now the Prime Minister coming to talk about expulsion and criminal charges, and they have a problem with that. Let me tell you, the reason I called tonight, right? I just wanted to say this out loud, because let me tell you something, I thought to myself that Penelope Beckles would be a good leader for the PNM. You know, she would have shine a better light on the PNM now. But like it's the same thing going on again now, because you're going to bring back Paris Al-Rawi. You bring back Foster Cummins, you bring back Amory Brown, it's the same jokers you bring back in the pack there again. So you expect to get any change from this PNM coming here now again? Nothing can come from that. And let me tell you, really and truly are disappointed in she was. Waste of time. That PNM, real failure. Besides, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, back in 2022, Gatsby Dolly said expulsion would be one of the things that would happen in school. So to date, we need Gatsby Dolly to come out and tell the public how many students has been expelled from school. How many students? Now, according to Gatsby Dolly, she said they are PNM students, or PNM children, or children of PNM homes, as she said. Come back to me, Director. So Trinidad and Tobago, these girls that took advantage of the one that is receiving the blows, the one in uniform, I want to ask these children and them, if that were them on the ground, what do they expect their parents to do? That is what I want to ask you. Those children that is beating the girl in the uniform, if that were you who were receiving those blows, what you expected your parents to do? Clearly, Gatsby Dolly plans from 2022 to 2025 did not work. It did not work. If that was your daughter, what you would have done? The Gatsby Dolly plan work from 2022 to 2025? No, it didn't. It didn't. So I hope the Couva station finds one of the individual. And one of the individual will say who is the rest of the individual. So I want to know now who will be charged with wounding with intent. Who will be charged with premeditated actions. Are they going to get the full brunt of the law laid out to them? This is what I want to find out. There must be a video circulating somewhere on social media with a proper image of one of the girls. So tonight I ask the girls who are offloading the blows on the student with the uniform, if that was you in the ground, what you would have done, and what do you expect your parents to do in this case? The girl was dragged. She was abused. Kick, cough. So as a parent, what do you do? So asking Gasmi Dolly tonight, based on her statement, is that PNM children? Did they come from a PNM home? That's not my statement, you know. That's Gasmi Dolly's statement. My statement would have been, are we going to expel these students from school? Yes, we need that. Do you think bringing them back in the school will help them? If they did it the first time, what you expect the second time? You expect butter in hot sun treatment? No. I just tell my kids when they go to school, if any incident happen in school, go and report it to the principal. Report it to the principal, and we will deal with it from there. I want you to notify the principal. I want you to notify securities. I want you to notify the deans. So ask yourself, viewers, most of you who saw the video circulating on social media platform, what are you going to do? So Trinidad and Tobago, we have come to the end of our program for tonight. See you on our next broadcast.